Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories as always. I'm your host Chris Jack. Today checking out one of the latest collaboration releases between Union and Jordan, of course, on the Air Jordan 4 in the Desert Moss colorway. Without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so as many of you guys will know, a polarizing take on the Union Jordan 4 first came in the form of the Off Noir colorway and the Guava Ice. The Guava Ice was a pair that I actually had in my collection. Don't have them anymore, unfortunately, and I'll get into why that is a little bit later in this review. But anyway, a follow-up to the initial two colorways. These were first leaked a few months ago with some images online of this particular color, the Desert Moss, and then a taupe haze color as well. Both of them released around the 20th of June. In South Africa, we only had the option to try and get a pair of this particular colorway, which was the sort of global release colorway, the Desert Moss, through the sneakers website. And yeah, no one got. But further to that, the other colorway, the taupe haze, was an exclusive to Union LA. And if you guys were on Instagram and follow Union, or anyone who was in and around that vicinity at the time, will know that there was a ridiculous queue to get hands on either this colorway or the taupe haze colorway. And it was just like so crazy. This line was like literally blocks on blocks on blocks outside the Union LA store. So clearly, quite an in-demand shoe. Now, I mentioned earlier in the intro, this was quite a polarizing shoe because it had this fold-down tongue that not everyone was a fan of. Like, people were like, don't really know about that. And then there were all these videos on YouTube of people unstitching the tongue, and then it like looks normal-ish kind of thing. But either way, it became quite a sought-after shoe, definitely by resale prices of the Off Noir and Guava Ice colorways. That Guava Ice colorway, which was also exclusive, has been selling extremely high on the resale market along with this colorway, and I'm pretty sure that these will get there too. But onto the colorway itself, as mentioned, this was the global release one, the Desert Moss, that basically used a whole bunch of like rather unusual colors that you wouldn't necessarily see on a Jordan 4, but you know, kind of inspiration behind the design of this. Chris Gibbs, the owner of Union LA, wanted to focus a lot around the 90s or late 80s, early 90s, with influence of basketball into streetwear, but also looking at like Michael Jordan off court, a lot of influences around like advertising, streetwear, music, fashion, all of those kind of things from that era. And then also focusing on materials like those plush suedes that they've taken from some other models and incorporated onto the Jordan 4, like even down to the meshing over here, bringing a very retro appeal to the shoe with this kind of like off-white coloring, just like giving a bit of like retro sort of age to the shoe. Now, shout out to my man Sunny for hooking this pair up. It's not my pair, but just to take a look at here on Sneaker Stories today, huge shout out to you, man, because I don't know if like, as much as I would want this particular shoe for my collection, I do think I like that taupe haze colorway maybe just a little bit more. But having these in hand, they really do just pop, and I definitely like them a lot more than I thought I would. But starting with the colorways, underneath the shoe over here, the standard Air Jordan 4 outsole, you've got hits of this very sort of light purpley pink, yellow, and this sort of turquoisey aqua color. The rest of that is just done in this sort of off-white coloring, a little bit of gray, a little bit of brown in there as well. The bubble over here is done in an aqua color, and I'm pretty sure that is on both of the shoes. And then stepping just further up there, you have an insanely thick suede material. I think like, you know, like a lot of suedes used on Jordan 4s are just like these kind of faux suedes. This seems like really plush and like luxurious in hand. From a toe box perspective, it's this kind of rough mesh texture over here done in this purple kind of color. There isn't really any color code on the box other than Desert Moss and turquoise blue. So I'm assuming turquoise blue just further up there in the eyelets, or these eye stays here towards the bottom of the shoe. And then just taking a look at the other eye stay over here, that's just done in a translucent plastic material. Actually saw something crazy, I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but somebody's Jordan that they bought in here, I think it was a white cement or whatever, the whole like piece of this eye stay just ripped straight off. Rest in peace. So I really hope this doesn't happen on some of these shoes, but just a random thought that popped into my mind. Back to the shoe, the tongue section over here has that exposed mesh layer, which gives it that retro appeal that's over that purple at the bottom. And then towards the top of the tongue over here, you'll notice that sort of like goldish color nylon material there. And then the tongue obviously folded over with the Air Jordan and Union stitch logos on the tag done there as well. From a lacing perspective, 2 sets of laces provided with the shoe. This is kind of a darker brown gray with hits of these turquoise blue coloring in it. And then the second set of laces, which I actually quite like, I really do like the turquoisey blue color, is kind of like a reverse of that. So obviously more turquoise, adding a little bit more turquoise to the coloration of the shoe. Swinging around to the heel section, you've got the turquoise overlay heel tab over here. Nothing really too different with this, other than the Nike Air branding that's been done in that pink coloration. And then in and around the heel collar of the shoe, that purple color from the toe box comes back here in the same material. And then just taking out the shoe horn over here, the interior of the shoe is done in a gray mesh. And then the insoles of the shoe, which do come out quite easily, you've got the Jumpman and Union logo done on this yellow insole, and that is the same on both shoes. Now, one difference I did pick up with this particular release that wasn't present on the Off-Noirs and Guava Ice colorways, the hang tag provided over here is done in a different color, but it does still have that Union branding just done through that transparent piece with the Jumpman logo. But what's different about this, beyond the coloration of that, of course, is that they have also included kind of like shield medallion thing that's hanging off the shoe over here, just done green, black, and blue. It's got 2 dates on it, 1991 to 2001, just for 30th anniversary. So nice little addition to the shoe over there. Now, I mentioned earlier why I didn't end up keeping my Guava Ice pair of the Union 4s. And the reason for that is I just found them at true to size to be a little bit too uncomfortable for my particular foot shape. And where I was really having problems with the shoe, and I do feel this on some other Jordan 4s as well, is just towards where these eyelets are in the front of the shoe. There's so many layers of material there, and my particular foot shape at that specific point in the shoe, like literally just puts a lot of pressure on the sides of my feet. So I find like for all day wear, they weren't like really working for me. I haven't as yet had the opportunity to try a half size up, and I'm not necessarily recommending that you take a half size up in this particular shoe. I think majority of people just go with their standard Air Jordan 4 size. And if you guys don't know what that is, and you do have an opportunity maybe here either at Story Cape Town or anywhere where there's a Jordan 4, even if it's a general release, then you should be able to get your size pretty bang on from that, as I do think the construction of the shoe, even though they've changed up some materials, is pretty much the same from a sizing perspective. So I do hope one day to actually get a UK 9.5 of one of these Unions. Any of these colors would be amazing for me to have. The whole package, the whole sort of design story, everything behind it, collaboration point of view, is super awesome. I love the box that comes here, which is heavily inspired by, I think, the UCLA colors. You've got Michael Jordan's hands up there with the Union logo just over it. And it is a top opening box or top loaded box. And then the paper over here, which is really nice, it's just got your boy Michael Jordan's head kind of like mirrored on each other, but all sort of tying into that nostalgic sort of late 80s, early 90s feel. Now, from a pricing point of view, the Desert Moss colorway being the sort of wider released one, so clearly more numbers of these made perhaps, is sitting anywhere between $300 and $500 before shipping and customs, of course, in places like StockX and GOAT. The other colorway I spoke about, the Topaz, which was the Union exclusive for this 30th anniversary shoe, is substantially higher, between $600 and about $2,000, depending on size, of course, at the same place. If you guys do want to get your hands on either of these, here in Cape Town, South Africa, or anywhere in South Africa for that matter, you can reach out to us at story.capetown to place an order for you and get one of these pairs into your hands as soon as possible. But that's it for my take and review of the Air Jordan 4 in Union Desert Moss colorway. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you do have any further questions, please drop them in the comment section below, and if you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe right here for more content reviews and unboxings down the line. But that is all for today, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.